It's a quiet evening, and the world outside your window seems calm, almost indifferent to the storm brewing within. You sit on your couch, scrolling through memories that only seem to deepen the ache in your chest. A familiar photo flashes on your phone screen, and suddenly you're there again, caught in the grip of attachment, longing, and unanswered questions. You wonder how one person could hold so much power over your emotions, leaving you tethered to a version of yourself that feels smaller, weaker, and incomplete. But here's a thought. What if that storm inside you is not a sign of your weakness, but an invitation to reclaim your strength? What if the pain you're feeling is a signal that it's time to take back control? Not by shutting down your emotions, but by mastering them. This journey of emotional detachment may seem overwhelming, even impossible. But as the ancient Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Letting go is not about severing ties in bitterness or coldness. It's about learning to stand tall, to rebuild the foundations of your inner peace and self-worth. It's about choosing yourself. The weight of emotional attachment. Let's pause here for a moment and reflect. Why is it so hard to detach from someone? It's because we invest more than just time and energy into a relationship. We pour in our dreams, our hopes, and sometimes even our sense of identity. This person, him, may have been a source of comfort, joy, or even purpose. And when that connection begins to fade or break, it feels as if a part of us is being pulled away, leaving behind an emptiness that echoes louder than the love we once felt. But what if we've been looking at attachment all wrong? Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, said, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." This wisdom reminds us that our lives are meant to be lived fully, moment by moment, not tied down by the weight of another person's presence or absence. Emotional attachment often grows from the illusion that our happiness depends on someone else. We tell ourselves that life was better with him, that our future is less bright without him, or that we'll never feel this way again. But the truth is, those thoughts are not facts. They are stories we tell ourselves, and like any story, they can be rewritten. What detachment really means. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring or that you close your heart forever. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about caring enough for yourself to let go of what's harming your peace and clarity. It's about learning to love with an open hand, not a clenched fist. Imagine for a moment that you are holding onto a rope tied to a heavy weight. The tighter you grip, the more the rope digs into your hands, causing pain and strain. Now imagine letting go, not out of anger or frustration, but out of a quiet understanding that holding on is no longer serving you. That is the essence of detachment, releasing the weight while keeping your strength intact. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. This means that the pain of holding on isn't just about the person you're attached to, it's about the meaning you've attached to their role in your life. When you change the story, you tell yourself, you change the way you feel. The courage to reclaim your power. Detaching emotionally from him is not a retreat. It's an act of bravery. It's acknowledging that your well-being is worth more than the endless cycle of longing, self-doubt, and regret. It's about realizing that while love can be beautiful, it should never come at the expense of your inner peace. Think of this process as stepping out of a shadow into the light. The shadow may feel familiar, even comforting in its own way, but it limits your vision and keeps you from seeing the full picture of your life. Stepping into the light might feel uncertain at first, but it's where growth happens. It's where freedom lives. Marcus Aurelius also said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By choosing to detach, you're not losing something. You're gaining the clarity to focus on your own growth, your own happiness, and the limitless possibilities that lie ahead. Why this journey matters. Imagine waking up one day and feeling a sense of lightness you haven't felt in ages. Imagine looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing strength and self-worth reflected back at you. Imagine being so deeply anchored in your own value that no person, no matter how much they once meant to you, has the power to shake your peace. This is the life that detachment offers. It's not about forgetting him or pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about transforming that pain into wisdom, resilience, and self-love. It's about recognizing that the greatest relationship you'll ever have is the one you build with yourself. So as we dive into these 7 Stoic Powerful Rules on how to emotionally detach from him, remember this: you are not letting go because you're weak. You're letting go because you are ready to rise. As you embrace the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, you'll discover not only the strength to detach, but the courage to thrive. Take a moment to affirm this powerful truth. I am in control of my emotions, and I choose peace, clarity, and freedom. This mantra is your reminder that your worth is not tied to anyone else. It comes from within you. Write a short, empowering phrase that resonates with your journey, such as, "I let go to grow," or "My peace is my power." Share your mantra in the comments below, and let it be your daily anchor. Believe in yourself, because you're stronger than you know, and your journey to emotional freedom starts now. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to keep creating insightful and valuable content to help you on your journey. Join our growing community and let's thrive together. Let's take this journey together. Are you ready to reclaim your power? Let's begin. Number 1. Redefine your narrative. It was a rainy afternoon, and Sarah found herself staring out of her apartment window, replaying the same memories over and over again. Each drop of rain felt like a reflection of the tears she had shed over the past few weeks. The pain wasn't just about losing him, it was about losing herself. She had woven her identity so tightly around their relationship that now that it was over, she felt like a shadow of who she once was. She clung to the story she had built in her mind, one where he was the center of her happiness, the key to her future, and the anchor that kept her steady. Without him, she felt adrift, unsure of where to go or who she was. But here's the truth Sarah didn't realize. The story she was telling herself was just that, a story. And stories can be rewritten. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Sarah's pain didn't come from the end of the relationship itself, but from the meaning she had attached to it. She had convinced herself that her happiness, self-worth, and even her purpose were tied to someone else. This narrative had become a trap, keeping her bound to the past and preventing her from seeing the limitless possibilities of her future. Redefining your narrative starts with recognizing that you are not the supporting character in someone else's story. You are the protagonist of your own. The end of a relationship, no matter how painful, is not the end of your journey. It is a chapter that prepares you for the next, one where you discover your strength, your passions, and your true worth. When you tell yourself, "I can't live without him," you give away your power. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow stronger? Every heartbreak, every setback, carries within it the seeds of transformation. Think about this. If your life were a book, would you want it to be defined by the absence of one person, or by the resilience and courage you showed in moving forward? Seneca reminds us, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." Your story doesn't have to be about loss. It can be about rediscovery, about finding the strength to turn the page and write a new chapter, one where you are whole, independent, and thriving. Sarah eventually realized this. She started journaling her thoughts, shifting her focus from what she had lost to what she still had and what she wanted to create. She wrote about her dreams, her goals, and the person she wanted to become. Slowly, her narrative began to change. She was no longer the girl who couldn't move on. She was the woman rebuilding her life with purpose. And with every new page she wrote, she felt lighter, stronger, and more in control. Your narrative is your power. When you redefine it, you take back control of your emotions and your life. You are no longer a prisoner of the past. You are the author of your future. Remember, detaching emotionally from him doesn't mean forgetting him or pretending the pain never existed. It means choosing to frame your experience in a way that empowers you, rather than diminishes you. Here's your mantra for today. I am the author of my own story, and I choose to write one of strength, growth, and freedom. Write it in the comments below, and let this affirmation remind you of the power you hold. If this resonates with you, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. We're working hard to bring you content that uplifts and inspires, and your support helps us continue this journey together. Share your thoughts and let us know how you're rewriting your narrative, because emotional freedom starts now. Number 2. Anchor your identity in your values. It started subtly, a quiet shift that you barely noticed at first. You began making decisions based on his preferences, setting aside your own desires and values to keep the peace or make him happy. You found yourself shrinking, bending, and reshaping parts of who you were to fit into a mold you thought would keep the connection alive. Slowly, your identity became entangled with his, and now, as you face the challenge of letting go, you wonder, who am I without him? This is one of the hardest parts of emotional detachment, untangling yourself and rediscovering your identity. But here's the truth. Your worth, your values, and your uniqueness have always been within you, waiting to shine. It's time to reclaim that. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Emotional attachment often arises when we lose touch with our sense of self, anchoring our identity in someone else's opinions, approval, or presence. We start to see ourselves through their eyes, forgetting the depth and value of who we are independently. This creates a shaky foundation, where every slight, misunderstanding, or change in the relationship feels like a threat to our very existence. But anchoring your identity in your values can shift this dynamic completely, giving you the strength to stand tall no matter who stays or goes. Think back to a time when you felt truly confident and aligned with yourself, before the weight of this attachment clouded your clarity. What made you proud of who you were? Maybe it was your kindness, your creativity, your determination, or your ability to bring joy to others. Those qualities didn't disappear. They're still there, waiting for you to embrace them again. Detachment doesn't mean rejecting your feelings or the connection you shared. It means rediscovering the foundation of your identity and rebuilding it with unshakable strength. When you begin to anchor yourself in your values, you create a steady ground that no external circumstance can erode. Imagine a ship in the middle of a stormy sea. Without an anchor, it's tossed around, vulnerable to the chaos of the waves. But with a strong anchor, it holds firm, weathering the storm with resilience. That anchor is your values, the principles that define who you are and guide your actions, no matter what happens around you. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, focus on embodying your values instead of seeking validation from others. Start small. Reflect on what matters most to you: honesty, kindness, growth, courage, or independence. Once you identify your core values, use them as your compass. Let them guide your decisions, your words, and even your thoughts. When you feel the pull of emotional attachment dragging you back, remind yourself that your worth is not tied to anyone else. It's rooted in the unchanging foundation of your principles. Every time you choose your values over your attachment, you take a step toward emotional freedom. Detaching from someone emotionally doesn't mean abandoning love or connection. It means loving yourself enough to prioritize your peace and purpose. It means saying, "I am more than this attachment. I am my values, my strength, and my potential." This mindset not only helps you move forward, but also opens the door to deeper, healthier relationships. Connections where you can be fully yourself without fear of losing your identity. As you take this journey of detachment, let this be your mantra. I am anchored in my values, unshaken by external tides. My worth is within me, steady and unchanging. Write it down, repeat it daily, and let it become your guide. And now, share your strength with our community by writing this mantra in the comments. I am anchored in my values. Let's create a space of encouragement and growth for everyone navigating this journey. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. We're working hard to bring you content that empowers and uplifts, and your support means the world to us. Together, we can continue to grow and thrive. Remember, you're not alone. Your strength is waiting within you, ready to shine. Number 3. Create a future-focused vision board. It was late at night, and Lily found herself staring at a blank wall in her bedroom. The silence was deafening, and her mind kept replaying moments with him. The good ones, the bad ones, and everything in between. She felt stuck, as if her future had been hijacked by the weight of a relationship that no longer served her. Then she remembered something her friend had once told her. If you don't define your future, someone else will. That's when it hit her. She'd spent so much time holding on to what was that she'd completely neglected what could be. Determined to take control of her own life, Lily decided to create something powerful. A vision board for her future, one that didn't revolve around anyone else but her. Creating a future-focused vision board is one of the most transformative steps you can take to emotionally detach. When you're deeply attached to someone, it's easy to feel like your future depends on their presence or approval. But that's an illusion. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Your happiness isn't tied to someone else, it's rooted in the life you build for yourself. A vision board is a tangible representation of that life, a reminder that your dreams, goals, and passions are still very much alive and waiting for you to nurture them. Think of it this way. Your attachment to him may feel like a roadblock, but it's really a detour guiding you back to yourself. By creating a vision board, you're giving yourself permission to dream again, to look beyond the pain of letting go and focus on the limitless possibilities ahead. Imagine waking up each day and seeing your future laid out in vibrant colors, filled with images and words that inspire you. It's a reminder that the story of your life isn't over, it's just beginning. The process of building a vision board is as symbolic as the board itself. Start by gathering images, quotes and ideas that reflect what you want to achieve, experience, and feel in the future. Don't just think about big milestones. Include the small joys too, travel destinations, hobbies you've always wanted to try, or even words like peace, freedom, and growth. This act of creation shifts your focus away from the past and grounds you in the excitement of what's to come. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. By immersing yourself in positive, future-oriented thinking, you begin to rewire your mind to see opportunities rather than obstacles. Lily found that as she worked on her vision board, her attachment to him began to fade. It wasn't that the memories disappeared, they simply lost their power over her. Her board became a declaration of independence, a bold statement that she could build a fulfilling life on her own terms. Each image and word represented a step toward emotional freedom, and every day it reminded her of her strength and resilience. As you create your own future-focused vision board, remember that this is not just an exercise, it's a declaration of self-worth. You are telling yourself and the world that your happiness is not conditional on anyone else. You are choosing to reclaim your narrative and design a life that aligns with your values, passions, and dreams. End each day by standing in front of your vision board and saying, "I am the architect of my future." Let this mantra guide you whenever the pull of attachment feels strong. Write it in the comments below as your commitment to emotional freedom. I am the architect of my future. If this idea resonates with you and you're ready to embrace your personal power, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're working hard to create content that supports you on your journey toward emotional resilience and self-growth. Together, let's build a community rooted in strength, wisdom, and the courage to thrive. Number 4, practice emotional minimalism. Picture this. You're standing in a room packed with boxes, each one labeled with a memory, a feeling, or a thought about him. Some boxes are heavy, weighed down with regrets and what-ifs. Others are lighter but still take up space, like fleeting hopes or echoes of his voice. You try to move freely through the room, but there's no clear path. You keep tripping, bumping into the clutter, unable to find your way out. This room isn't just a metaphor. It's the mental space you occupy when your emotions are tangled in attachment. It's exhausting, isn't it? Now imagine if you could clear that space, removing the boxes that no longer serve you, until you're left with a clean, open room where you can finally breathe. That's the power of emotional minimalism. Emotional minimalism is about letting go of the unnecessary weight you carry in your heart and mind. It's not about denying your feelings or pretending you don't care. It's about being intentional with what you allow to take up space within you. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them." We often attach unnecessary meaning to emotions and memories, creating clutter that prevents us from moving forward. Practicing emotional minimalism means reassessing those judgments and asking yourself, does this thought or feeling add value to my life? Or is it holding me back? Letting go is easier said than done, but think about the alternative. When we hold on to every memory, every what could have been, we tie ourselves to the past, leaving little room for the present or future. It's like carrying a bag full of stones. You may have grown accustomed to the weight, but it's still slowing you down. And here's the truth: not every stone is yours to carry. Some belong to your fears, your ego, or even his actions. You don't have to hold on to them. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What color are your thoughts painting your soul right now? Is it the vibrant color of peace and hope, or the heavy shade of regret and longing? To embrace emotional minimalism, start by identifying the emotions and memories that serve no purpose other than to keep you stuck. Picture yourself gently placing those feelings into imaginary boxes and setting them aside. This isn't about forgetting or suppressing them. It's about acknowledging their presence and choosing to let them go. Visualize the room of your mind becoming clearer, lighter, and more open. With each box you release, you create more space for peace, clarity, and self-love to flourish. The beauty of emotional minimalism lies in the freedom it gives you. When your mind isn't crowded with unnecessary emotional clutter, you gain the clarity to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your happiness, and your ability to thrive. As you let go, you'll find yourself becoming less reactive, less tied to the past, and more anchored in the present. This isn't just detachment, it's empowerment. So, here's your mantra. I release what no longer serves me. My peace is my priority. Write this down, say it to yourself, and let it guide you whenever you feel weighed down by emotional clutter. Remember, your mind is your sanctuary, and it deserves to be a place of calm and strength. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to write the mantra in the comments. I release what no longer serves me. My peace is my priority. Let's fill this space with declarations of strength and self-love, creating a community of emotional freedom and growth. And if you found this helpful, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to bring you content that inspires and empowers, and your support makes all the difference. Let's walk this journey together, one step closer to the life you deserve. In number 5, build your resilience rituals. It was a rainy afternoon when Sophia realized she had hit rock bottom. Her phone buzzed endlessly, but she couldn't bring herself to answer. The texts weren't from him. Those had stopped weeks ago. Instead, they were from friends and family, worried about her sudden retreat from the world. Sophia sat by the window, clutching a cup of tea that had long gone cold. Her once vibrant energy was replaced by a hollow sense of longing, a yearning for someone who had once been her world. She knew she couldn't keep living like this, tethered to memories and hopes of what could have been. Something had to change. In that quiet, reflective moment, she picked up a journal and wrote 3 simple words. Choose yourself today. It wasn't much, but it was a start, a promise to herself to rebuild her inner strength, one small step at a time. This was the birth of her resilience rituals, practices that would help her rise above her emotional attachment and reclaim her power. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you cultivate, like a garden that needs daily tending. And every act of care, every ritual, becomes a seed of strength that grows into emotional freedom. As Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, no great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Building emotional resilience takes patience, commitment, and deliberate action. It's about creating habits that ground you, strengthen you, and remind you of the person you are without him. Resilience rituals are not just about surviving, they're about thriving, about discovering the depth of your own strength and joy. Sophia began her journey with small but intentional acts. Each morning, she started with a mantra. I am enough, as I am. She'd stand in front of the mirror, even on days when she didn't believe it, and repeat those words until they began to sink in. Her evenings ended with gratitude journaling, where she listed 3 things she appreciated about herself or her day. It was a reminder that her life held beauty and value, even without him in it. Slowly but surely, these rituals became the foundation of her emotional strength, helping her detach from the past and embrace the present. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Resilience rituals are your way of shaping those thoughts, of creating an environment where peace and clarity can flourish. Whether it's through meditation, exercise, journaling, or even taking quiet walks in nature, these daily practices remind you that your well-being is within your control. They teach you that while you can't change the past or dictate how someone else feels, you can choose how you respond. And in that choice lies your freedom. If you've ever felt like your emotions are running the show, pulling you back into memories or spiraling thoughts, resilience rituals are your way of taking back the reins. They are the acts of self-love and discipline that anchor you in the present and prepare you for the future. They remind you that healing is not a one-time event, but a journey, one step at a time, one day at a time. With each ritual, you become stronger, more grounded, and more in tune with the life you deserve to live. So, let today be the day you start building your own resilience rituals. Begin small. Write down one thing you're grateful for. Take a deep breath when emotions overwhelm you, or repeat this mantra. I am stronger than my attachment. Write it down, repeat it, believe it. Let it be your anchor as you navigate the storm of detachment. And in the comments, share this mantra with us. I am stronger than my attachment. Let's create a space where we uplift and support each other on this journey. If this message resonated with you, we'd love for you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support fuels us to create meaningful content that empowers and inspires. Together, let's build a community rooted in strength, growth, and emotional freedom. Remember, resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about learning how to rebuild stronger every single time. You've got this. Number 6. Learn the art of strategic disengagement. It was a late afternoon, and the rain was gently tapping against her window. She stared at her phone, willing herself not to send another text, not to search for his name in her messages, not to scroll through his social media for signs of a life she was no longer part of. Every fiber of her being wanted to reach out, to reconnect, to feel something, anything that would bridge the growing distance between them. But deep down, she knew holding on was only hurting her more. What she needed was not another conversation or explanation, but a quiet, deliberate step back from the emotional chaos. She needed to disengage, not out of anger or spite, but from a place of love for herself. Strategic disengagement is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice and intentionality. It's not about ghosting or avoiding someone entirely. It's about knowing when and how to withdraw your energy to protect your emotional well-being. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. While this doesn't mean severing every connection that causes pain, it does mean choosing to prioritize interactions that align with your growth and peace. Sometimes, the most courageous thing you can do is to step away, not because you're giving up, but because you're giving yourself the chance to heal. Disengagement doesn't mean you no longer care. It means you are choosing to care for yourself first. Think of it as closing a door gently but firmly, knowing it no longer leads to a place of peace. It's a conscious decision to stop pouring energy into something or someone that drains you, no matter how much your heart wants to hold on. This isn't avoidance, it's self-preservation. Imagine your emotional energy as a cup of water. Every interaction either fills or drains that cup. Strategic disengagement is about protecting your reserves so that you have enough left for yourself. To begin this process, remind yourself of the timeless wisdom of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You cannot control how he feels, what he does, or whether he reaches out again. But you can control how much access he has to your emotional energy. Reduce the avenues where his presence influences your mood, be it through social media, excessive communication, or revisiting memories that reopen wounds. This isn't an act of erasing him from your life. It's an act of creating space for your own emotional stability. It's important to approach disengagement with a spirit of grace, not bitterness. You're not walking away to punish him or make a point. You're stepping back to protect your inner peace and honor your self-worth. As hard as it feels, letting go is a gift you give to yourself. Every time you resist the urge to re-engage, you strengthen your emotional independence. You're teaching yourself that your happiness doesn't hinge on someone else's presence or validation. This path isn't easy, and there will be moments of doubt, but remember that true strength often comes from restraint. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By disengaging, you are reclaiming that power. You are choosing clarity over confusion, peace over turmoil, and yourself over attachment. So, the next time you feel the pull to reach out or revisit the past, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself of this mantra. I release what no longer serves me to make space for what truly nourishes me. Write this down. Say it aloud. Let it guide you. And in the comments, write this mantra. I release what no longer serves me. Let it serve as a reminder that you're not alone on this journey. If this resonates with you, show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. We are committed to creating content that empowers you to grow, heal, and thrive. Every like, comment, and subscription helps us bring more transformative insights to this community. Together, we can rise stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Remember, letting go is not losing. It's creating space for a life that truly fulfills you. Let's take that step together. Number 7. Adopt the zoom-out mindset. Imagine standing in front of a massive painting, your nose so close to the canvas that all you can see are smudges of color and chaotic brushstrokes. In that moment, the painting feels overwhelming, almost meaningless. But when you take a few steps back, the chaos transforms into a masterpiece, a vivid, cohesive story that was always there, waiting to be seen. This is what it feels like to be consumed by emotional attachment. When you're too close, every moment feels monumental, every thought about him feels critical, and every emotion feels eternal. But when you zoom out, suddenly, the pain and confusion shrink. revealing a bigger, clearer picture of your life. The zoom-out mindset is about seeing the broader perspective of your experiences, especially when it comes to emotional detachment. Think of the moments when you felt heartbroken or consumed by someone's absence. At that time, it may have seemed like the world was ending, yet here you are, stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, perfectly captured this truth when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. In those moments when attachment feels unbearable, remind yourself that this too shall pass, just like every other storm you've weathered. Time moves forward, and so will you. Picture yourself a year from now, or even 5 years into the future. Will the grip of this attachment still define you? Chances are it won't. You'll look back and see how this experience taught you invaluable lessons about yourself, your strength, your worth, and your ability to thrive. By stepping back and zooming out, you can gain this clarity now, rather than waiting for hindsight to show it to you. Life is vast, ever-changing, and filled with endless opportunities for growth, love, and joy. Fixating on one chapter, one person, limits your ability to see the whole story unfolding before you. The Stoics often reflected on the concept of impermanence as a tool for gaining perspective. Seneca once wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." This isn't meant to discourage, but to remind us that life's challenges and joys are all temporary. By zooming out, you remind yourself that just as happiness doesn't last forever, neither does pain. Everything is fleeting, and this realization can be a powerful source of comfort when attachment feels overwhelming. The zoom-out mindset also empowers you to focus on the parts of your life that truly matter. When you stop obsessing over someone who no longer serves your peace, you open the door to experiences and connections that align with your growth. Think of it this way. If you're constantly staring at one closed door, you might miss the countless others opening all around you. Life is too expansive to let one person define your emotional landscape. You deserve the freedom to explore, evolve, and embrace the infinite possibilities ahead. As you begin to practice the zoom-out mindset, repeat this mantra to yourself. This is one moment in my life, not the story of my life. Let it ground you in the reality that while your emotions are valid, they are not permanent. Write this mantra in the comments below as a declaration of your commitment to emotional freedom and perspective. Share your thoughts too. How will you start embracing the bigger picture of your life? If this perspective has resonated with you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're pouring our hearts into creating content that empowers you to navigate life with strength and clarity, and your support means everything to us. Let's keep building this community of resilience and growth together. Your journey is just beginning.